is Kimmy. The purpose of this channel is to prepare people to love well and avoid abuse. If you think we can do a better job with love and relationship than we're doing today, then you found the right place. Today's topic is the second in a series that's called Love Does. And Love Does prepare even little children to love healthy. Today we're going to look at how we can do things with our children that will actually set them up for healthy love and relationship later. In the West, we spend more than 50 hours making sure that our kids can drive safely, but less than 15 making sure they can find and keep and grow healthy love relationships and avoid abuse. We think that's completely messed up and we'd like to fix it. We're hoping to get over 100 subscribers this month. We'd love to have you join us so that we can actually make an impact and help spare some hearts along the way. So let's start today. Let's look at some ways that we can practically help teach little children what to look for when it comes to healthy love and relationship. The first thing, and it may seem a little bit obvious, but it's still good to remember, is that we are setting an example not as much by what we say as we are what we do. So the first thing that we can remember is that we live our lives setting examples for our children, especially when we're not thinking about it. So the way that we treat the other people in our home, our neighbors, the way we talk about them behind their back, that's the first lesson that our children will ever get on what it means to be loving. The second thing that we have at our disposal to teach our children is the fact that our life is basically a canvas that we can paint lessons on for our children. When we interact with the people in our lives, we are setting an example, yes, but we are also able to pull that apart and show them the motivations behind them. On this canvas, we can actually show that when we make a meal for somebody in the neighborhood or a family member, it's actually us taking our resources and putting that towards somebody else when we could just as easily be doing things for ourselves. We might assume that they're going to catch some of those things, but if we take those apart and really show them, give them the opportunity to see what love really is, isn't this feeling that we catch when we do these things, but it's actually the pouring out in the process. Taking those things apart, teaching them that love is something that we do when we put the self aside and we think about others. This is a lesson that some people don't get until they're much older, if ever, but we can give that to our children at very young age. The third thing we can do that actually helps us teach our kids what the defining aspects of love are is by catching them doing it. So when you start talking about acts of service and pouring out and being kind, and they will naturally want to do that. They want to please people. So what we do is we catch them in that and we help them redefine what culture is telling them love is by the way they feel or what it is that someone's getting out of something. And we teach them that it is in these moments that we pour out and we give that we actually are building the foundation for a relationship actually is healthy and hopefully will be going two ways. But we'll also have to teach them that part of it. So building on that, we do want to make sure that we raise kids who are protected from abuse. And one of the ways to do that is to teach them the skills to be able to realistically determine what kind of relationship that they are in. So in the case of teaching our kids to pour out and to be kind and to catch them in doing that, we also want to teach them to notice, do these people ever say thank you? Do they ever return the kindness? It's a very fine line between being a rule keeper who tracks everything that they do and makes sure that everybody else does the same thing back. And we all know that these relationships never work because nobody's ever in a fair mode. There's always going to be seasons where people are giving more or receiving more. And in healthy relationships, there needs to be a give and take and a grace in that. But we don't want to raise children who think that the goal is always to pour out and to never notice what the actual state of their relationship is. So teach them the skills to say, did you notice that you keep doing this for your next door neighbor, but they never even say thank you? We should always want to teach our kids to do what is right, to pour out, to be kind. But we also want to give them the skills to notice what exactly is happening in response to that. As we do these things and we teach our kids what love actually is, that it's a verb, that it's something that we do actively, we then get the opportunity to teach them how to navigate these in small doses so that they understand what a healthy relationship actually looks like. And they also learn that there are going to be people that they may be more of the giver or they may be more of a receiver, and that those things are not bad because there's value inside of them that they can pour out. But we also want to make sure that we facilitate their ability to do that pouring out. So make sure you have some supplies that they can write notes in or draw little pictures for. Make sure that you give them opportunities to do things. If you're going to make cookies for someone, that they can jump in and help you. These kinds of lessons require of them so little, but give them so much because they learn the joy of doing what is right and doing it in a timely way. But at their age, they can't be equipped to do that. So it's our job to facilitate that for them. So make sure that they're in a position to be able to pour out. And sometimes that can just be as simple as making a phone call for them so that they can call someone and tell them that they're thinking of them. There's really a lot of different ways that we can show and communicate love, but we need to start at a young age giving them the ways to do that so that becomes a part of their life. These 5 things may seem very simple on the surface, but let me show you how they are extremely revolutionary in the bigger picture of culture. Culture is going to teach them that love is how they feel, love is something that happens to them, and love is something that they have no control over. When you start at a young age showing them that the love that they have, they get to choose who and how and when, that it's not something that happens to them they have to compromise for, you will give them the power and ability to avoid so much suffering and wreckage, because they don't have to feel like it's a magical thing they have to go see and that they have to do anything to get. They get to choose how they love. This is revolutionary in today's society. So let's start building on that, and we'll spend a little bit more time as they're getting older, adding more layers to that. By the time they leave our home, they will know they are the ones who get to direct the love in their life, and they aren't a victim of it. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions on some specific ways you can do some of these things, please put them down in the notes below. I'd love to engage with you. Like I said, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We believe we can make a big difference in the lives of children and adults. We need to rethink how we approach this love and relationship thing, but we can't do it alone. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know you can be a lot of other places. Have a great rest of your day.